Hi everyone and welcome to Brick Arena. I thought I'd give you all an update on my Lego room and the house extension. I've had a few people asking me for an update on progress, and if you've seen my previous videos you might remember that we'd hit quite a big snag with the foundations and needing to underpin all of the back of the house, and that underpinning has been in progress now for a couple of weeks. You can probably see all of the markings along the back of the wall. Those are the positions where we've needed to do the underpinning, and that was to be done in I think 6 sections. So they did 2 at a time, where they had to dig down about a metre below the existing house foundation and then a metre underneath the actual building, and then concrete underneath the house itself. So they've done I think 4 of the holes. There's still 2 holes to do, so let me show you what one of those looks like at the moment. So if we look at this particular hole here, these are what the actual holes are like that the guys have had to dig. Now if you imagine, these holes have to be dug by hand, and that hole there is only about a metre by a metre and a half. You can actually see the guys' shovels down there, and I don't know if you can see, but that actually goes under the actual property there. So this is to be filled with concrete this week, that particular hole, and there's another of those just up here. So there's another of those holes here where they've dug down, and now they need to start digging out under the actual property. They've not done that just as yet, but that is all to do. So those are the 2 final holes that need to be dug. The others, such as this position here, have all been filled with concrete and refilled back with soil. So you know, this is the pain of the underpinning in a way. It's like digging a big hole, putting £10,000 in it and then covering it back over. Here's another one where this is concrete. But in addition to those holes, we've had some guys here, and you can see that there's been some progress now in getting the actual blocks in for the actual rest of the foundation. So let me take you back up here. If we look here, this is a part of the foundation. This was all underpinned down here in this corner, and since then they've flooded this with the concrete. So that was the first part that had to go in, and then you'll see that they then lay on top of the concrete. The concrete's about 400mm thick, I'm told, 40 centimetres. Then they have these, I think, funnily enough for us guys, I think they call these mega blocks, these big grey large blocks at the bottom. So they put 2 rows of those blocks, and then they start to put these more sort of standard breeze blocks. And the reason they have the cavity in them there is for airflow when we've got the floor in. So you can see that they started to backfill some of the gap with the soil there, and this side is still to be filled in, and then they leave this the cavity in the middle for the airflow. Now the next thing to happen this week is all of this ground here needs to be taken down about, I don't know, 30 centimetres or so down to the same kind of level as this, and that's for all of the floor to be laid on a block and beam floor, has to be laid across here on top of these foundations. So let me just take you up to the side. You might remember, if you've seen the previous video on this corner, this is where everything was particularly sandy, and down here we had to put a wire cage, which they concreted around, and then did the same sort of mega block building. So you get a much better idea now. I'll move back in a second and show you the idea of the size here. So let me just move up to the end. So I'm moving to the far end of what will be the Lego room. It's a bit slippy today because it's quite wet. But let me get in here. So this is where the extension will be at the front of the house, and if you can see up there, that is the length of the side extension. Now, you might remember that originally I'd talked about having a sort of a toilet in the middle here, and then 2 rooms, one sort of either side of that. But we've decided to change the layout a little bit now, and that means what we're actually going to do is we're going to position the toilet right up in that far corner, and then the rest of this space is just going to be one long continuous room that will be mine for all of my Lego and for building a nice city in. So this is actually about 3 meters wide by I think probably about, I would think by the time we take the toilet out, probably 9 meters in length. So quite a length there. So as I said, ready for the block and beam floor to go in. So again, all of this soil here needs to come down so that they can rest all of the beams along here, and then they'll run some in the opposite direction along the back as well. So that's about it. That's the progress to date. Sorry that things are still a little slower than I would have hoped. We've seen quite a big difference this week, just with them laying the concrete in here and laying the foundation blocks. Gives a much better sense of scale for us, and then hopefully, depending on the weather, we can get the floor in this week, and again that will give us a much better idea of floor space, and it'll make this area all nice and clean instead of it being all mud and puddles as it is right now. The underpinning will certainly be finished this week, and weather being good, I'll be able to check back in a few weeks, and we might even have some bricks up to start showing you. So I hope you found that interesting. If you did, remember to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of these building updates and also the Lego hauls, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye for now.